Here's how I'd make $100,000 in 6 months using a small YouTube channel. And just for context, my YouTube channel has generated me tens of millions of dollars, and actually every year it generates me millions of dollars with less than 100,000 subscribers. Actually, the majority of my videos only get a few thousand views. As far as every YouTube guru is concerned, I don't know what I'm doing on YouTube. That is, until they see my Stripe account, until they see my bank account, and they realize that I'm making more than these channels with millions of subscribers and hundreds of thousands of views. Now, if you're watching this video, you should fall in one of two categories. Either you don't necessarily have an offer yet, but you want to start creating an offer and starting to make some money online, and you know that YouTube's a really great platform from that. Or you're like me, you're already an established business owner. Maybe you're doing 10, 20, 30, 50, 100, $200,000 a month, and you want to add YouTube as an acquisition source, as a channel for you to get new clients, to lower your cost per acquisition and increase your profitability. And so I'm gonna walk you through, I have some notes here, how I would do it starting from scratch again, kind of covering both of these points of view. I'm actually out here in beautiful Miami, Florida on my boat on a Tuesday afternoon. So this is my first video on here, and I'm really excited to kind of walk through what I think everybody should be doing in order to start generating some real profit and real clients in 2025. So let's get started. The first thing you're gonna wanna do is identify who you're creating this channel for. You know, when I first started creating YouTube content, actually, if you go back to the very beginning, I was making all of my videos for real estate agents. Some of my videos were why you're in real estate agent hell, or how to generate leads on Facebook ads as a real estate agent, or even how to use virtual assistants as a real estate agent. And so in the very beginning, I had an advertising agency for real estate agents, obviously. And so because I had that ideal avatar, I was able to create videos around those very specific topics. And before I even knew really what I was doing on YouTube, before I knew how to make a lot of money from YouTube, already from some of the first videos I put out there, I was getting leads, calls, and sales without all the stuff being optimized because I knew who I was creating the videos for. And if you talk to any YouTube guru, they'll say, oh, the title's too long. Oh, you shouldn't say the word real estate agent in there. It's gonna be too long of a title. It's gonna be cut off, blah, blah, blah. But I knew that even if I got 100 views, if I got 5 people to book a call with me, well, that would save me thousands of dollars through paid advertising. So I was optimizing more for my ideal viewer. Now, if you're watching this and you don't currently already have an offer, then you should really typically know what you can teach. You should know already what you know about. And a lot of times when you're running an offer or starting an offer, the really great place to start is teaching or working with whoever you used to be. So for example, if you're a real estate agent, you can coach other real estate agents. If you're a young 20-something that learned how to make money online, you can show other 20-year-olds how to make money online. If you're a woman who's dating an entrepreneur, then you can actually run a coaching program teaching other entrepreneurs, teaching other women how to date entrepreneurs. The reason why this is so important when it comes to YouTube channels is because ultimately YouTube is a platform where you don't have to put out as much content as you do on, let's say, TikTok or Instagram, where your stuff disappears in less than 24 hours, but you're gonna have to put out more than one video in your entire lifetime. And a mistake I see a lot of people doing when they're creating their YouTube channel is they're creating it around a viewer that they don't really know a whole lot about, that they're just getting into themselves. And so then for every video they have to create, they literally have to go and do so much research online to figure out, okay, what are these person's pain points? What are their desires, et cetera, et cetera. I actually see other people online telling people to do that stuff. And that's not bad. I'm not saying you shouldn't do research on your ideal avatar. What I am saying, however, is that it's just way easier if you already know what those pain points are, because it's either you, or if you're an established business, you've worked with these people so many times over and over again. You know, as a great example here, I don't really have a script for this video, but I know who you are and I know your pain points. Right now, you're not generating as many clients as you want to. Your sales counter is not as filled as you want it. The people that are getting on the call, they're not as qualified as they were. If you're running ads, your costs are shooting through the roof. Show rate has tanked and you're just not making as much money as you used to, right? If if this is you, then this video is perfect. And it's because I know exactly who you are, because not only have I served those clients, but that was me before I understood how to use organic content like YouTube to really patch some of the holes inside of my business. So the main thing you want to do when you're first starting, either from scratch or you already have a business, is identify who the channel is for. I will promise you, it is not for your friends. It is not for your family members. It is not for all of the like 18, 19-year-old kids out there who watch 800 vlogs every single day. Those people aren't going to pay you any money. You want to create videos very specifically for your ideal avatar's pain points. And that's a really great way to get started, is just think, what's the problem that they have? So for example, on the real estate agent, they don't know how to run Facebook ads. Let me create a YouTube video where I show them how to run Facebook ads. Boom, now I am their hero, I'm their savior, and they're gonna wanna potentially work with me a little bit further. And when I kind of talked a second about like 17, 18-year-olds, I'm not knocking you if you're 17, 18 years old, but what I'm saying is, even when it comes to choosing your ideal avatar, you want to create videos around problems that your qualified version of your ideal avatar would have. Let me give you a few examples. You know, a lot of people, we have a lot of clients in like the day trading space, or teaching people how to like trade and do crypto and all of this stuff. And a lot of times they say, or credit. Another great example is credit, right? We have a lot of clients in the credit repair space, funding space. And every time, without a doubt, they all come to me and they say, Ravi, the problem is all these leads are unqualified. All these leads are crap. And I said, yeah, no crap, because your ads, your content is pretty much showing you as this young person having this amazing lifestyle. And all you talk about is your rags to riches story about how you went from zero to making all these millions of dollars online. So then you're going to attract everybody who's in that exact same journey themselves, right? And even for credit repair and for financing, it's the exact same thing. Actually, one of our clients who is in the financing space, we were able to explode his business just by changing who he was targeting in his content on his videos. Instead of creating videos like, here's how to get $100,000 funded in the next 30 days, it was, here's how to get $100,000 in order to scale your business in the next 30 days. Just by adding a couple of words at the end of that, now we're attracting business owners who already have some capital, but maybe not as much capital as they need to scale, and our client's business exploded because of it, right? So there's always levels to it. And when you're creating content and you're identifying the pain points that your clients have, don't do the lowest pain points of the most unqualified, poorest people out there, or that's exactly what you're going to attract. If you're going to put all this lifestyle content about you being a multi-millionaire and traveling all around the world, and you're 25 years old, don't be surprised if you attract a bunch of broke 20 to 25-year-olds that want to do the exact same thing. Another funny story, there's a very, very famous YouTuber and Instagrammer that I'm actually pretty close with. And I was visiting him recently, and he was telling me how they were switching from his current YouTube channel and Instagram channels to create a business version of it. He was going to he has this YouTube channel with millions of subscribers, and he was going to create a business version of the YouTube channel, because he said that he gets millions of views, but the problem is that 80% of them are people under the age of 18, 30% of them live in India, and they're not really making as much money as they know they could if they switched over to higher level business content. And that's exactly what he did. And now he's more profitable than ever. So I know I've spent a lot of time on identifying your ideal viewer and knowing what their problems are and choosing which problems you're going to go after. But if you do nothing else inside this video, that's the most important thing, because even if you do everything else 100% correctly, if you're talking to the wrong people, if you're spending hours doing research before you create this video because you don't know exactly who this avatar is, because you decided to do it for somebody because somebody said the roofing industry was great or the plumbing industry was great, but you don't really know what their pain points are, you're going to end up probably quitting the YouTube channel or making so many videos and not making any money from it and quitting it anyway. Okay, so now you know who you're creating a YouTube channel for. Let's talk about the type of content that you're going to be creating. More specifically, the level of awareness that the content is that you're creating. Now, I'm going to get a little bit advanced when it comes to marketing here, but hopefully you can just stick with me and I'll try to simplify it as much as possible. So in any kind of marketing funnel or system, there's typically levels of awareness, meaning when you're creating content, you're either talking to an unaware audience, meaning they have no idea about anything that you're talking about. They've never even heard of, I don't know, let's say YouTube channels before. Then you're talking to a problem-aware audience where you're not saying YouTube channels, but you're saying this one thing made me $5 million last year, and then that thing happens to be a YouTube channel. You're talking to solution-aware people, which is, for example, the title of this video is something to do with like how to make $100,000 from a small YouTube channel. These people already want to make make money from their YouTube channel, these people being you. So you're solution aware, you're looking for solutions on the YouTube channel. And then finally, there's most aware or product aware. And this is, let's say you're a return viewer, you've seen dozens of videos of me before, you already know that we run one of the most successful consulting companies in our space, helping people build YouTube channels and get clients from it along a variety of other things. And so I'm creating content at different awareness levels. Now, let me walk you through a really great example and a mistake I see a lot of people doing of one of my clients. So one of my clients, I won't divulge who they are, but they're a doctor. And as a doctor, they serve this very specific type of disease. And actually, what she was telling me is that like 30% of children in the United States have this disease, but they're not even aware of it yet, right? They don't even know they have this disease. And so when they first came to us, they had a YouTube channel. I think they had like 1,500, 2,000 subscribers. And they were saying, we're not getting as many clients as we want to from our YouTube channel. And then they kept on saying, look at this person's YouTube channel. They're doing the same exact thing as we are, but they're getting millions of views on the YouTube channel. I can't understand what the difference is. And this is a perfect example of the levels of awareness. I said, okay, you just told me that the majority of people have no idea what this disease is. And so when you're saying, are you struggling with this disease? Of course, nobody's going to know who it is. You're talking to an unaware audience. They have no idea what that disease is, right? Or you're going to say how to solve this, this disease. And now you're talking to a solution-aware audience of people that are literally already have the disease, it's already been diagnosed, and they're actively looking for solutions. The problem is when you talk to an unaware audience, they're not going to click on your videos or click on it because they just have no idea who you are and what this problem is. When you talk to a solution-aware audience, it's a very small segment of the total population. Just for example, you're probably talking about 3% or 5% of the total marketplace that you could serve. And so that's why earlier when I was talking about your ideal viewer, you want to focus mostly on problems because that's the pain level of awareness, problem level awareness right here. And so instead of saying, like, do you have this disease? The YouTube channel or the YouTube titles, should be something more along the lines of, are you falling asleep in class? Did you have a seizure last year in class and not even know it? These are all problem aware. So let's say they fell asleep all the time, or let's say that they had a seizure and they couldn't diagnose what it was. Well, now that's going to be a way broader audience that you can have to watch that video. And then you might say in the video, this might be because of this disease here. And now all of a sudden you've taken someone from problem aware to solution aware. And then in the exact same video, at the very end of the video, you can say, we actually help people with this disease, combat it and get rid of it, blah, blah, blah. Go down below and book a call to speak with our team. And so now you're at the most aware stage. And that was the biggest difference between her channel and this other person's channel she kept on pointing at, was that this other person's channel was all very problem aware. It's like, do you have seizures? Are you sleepy all the time? Do you have brain fog? And of course, that's going to be everybody, right? And so they're clicking on those videos, and then they're clicking on the video, watching it, and then they're saying that it's because of this disease. As soon as we turn that around for the client, immediately started getting more views, leads, calls, and sales for her business. Okay, so now we know who we're creating the video for, and we know exactly what type of content we're creating. Let's go a layer deep and talk about how do you turn viewers into clients. Now, don't worry, I'm going to come back and talk about some of the other stuff like thumbnails and some of those other things in a moment, but I know there's a lot of impatient people here saying, okay, this is really great, Ravi. Maybe you're already getting a lot of views on your videos, but you're not converting them to clients, or you're ready to start getting views, but you need to know, how do I make money from this ASAP? Now, if you fall in that latter category, you're just starting your channel, you might not know exactly what the offer is yet, you're trying to serve who you used to be, et cetera, et cetera. This is the most basic and simple advice I can give you that's going to be the most powerful. All you have to do is just invite people to get on a free consultation call with you below. All you have to do is put your calendar link down below, whether it's Calendly or Go High Level or whatever else it is, whatever calendar software you use. All you have to say is, hey, if you're interested in learning more, or if you're interested in having a deeper conversation about this, go down below and book a call to speak with me. And yes, is this not the most advanced funnel system in the world? Are you going to get on the phone with broke people? Are you getting on the phone with people who don't really know you? Are you going to get on the phone, gasp, with people who don't pay you money right away? Absolutely. But at least you're getting on the phone with people. You're going to be getting on the phone with people who are hopefully in your potential target market, who are hopefully at the level of awareness that you want them to because you followed step 1 and step 2. And so even a blind squirrel finds the occasional nut, meaning that even if you just got on 50 calls like that, you could still probably close 1 people on a product or package that you just made up based on what the feedback you got from those 50 calls were. And here's a fun fact. For every single offer I've ever created, and remember, I've generated almost $30 million online now, I have never, and I mean literally never, known exactly what the full offer was going to be before I started marketing it. And that was because, in my opinion, it is almost, excuse my French here, asinine in order to say that you know everything that's going to be the perfect offer before you go to the marketplace. Instead, you just kind of come at it in a general idea. So for example, let's go back to the doctor. If she didn't even know what her perfect offer was going to be yet, she could just say, hey, I'm going to help you lower the symptoms of this disease, or maybe even get rid of this disease. And so I can just make that a very simple claim. I'm not going to say, oh, it's going to be this many weeks with this many coaching calls and you're going to get this many things. It doesn't matter at this stage. All I'm trying to do is make sure that people are interested enough to potentially pay me some money. So I'll get on the call and I'll give you a funny story. When I first launched my offer, Scaling with Systems, I would literally get on the call with people and they would be like, well, are you going to do the onboarding call? And I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm going to do the onboarding call, right? I'd be like, okay, now we're doing onboarding calls. Okay, are you going to, I used to train virtual assistants and place them for people. They'd be like, okay, are you going to like have your virtual assistant meet with, or have my virtual assistant meet with your virtual assistant on a weekly basis? I'd be like, oh yeah, we could definitely do that, right? These people were telling me what they wanted and I would write that down and just say yes. Richard Branson, which many of you know, he said, if you're in a job interview and they ask if you can do something, you say yes and you figure out how to do it later. Business is absolutely no different than that. You want to figure out what you people want, you're going to tell them that you can give it to them, and then you work your butt off in order to deliver it for them. And here's a little secret, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know how to deliver it for them, if you overpromise and underdeliver, well, guess what? You don't have any skin in the game. You made free YouTube videos. You have almost no cost of delivery because it's just your time and you don't have any money right now. So you're not like building this crazy fulfillment structure. And so just give them their money back. That's exactly what I told the first 50 clients I worked with. I said, look, if this doesn't work out, I'm going to give you all of your money back. But because I was able to actually deliver, because I worked my butt off to make these really great case studies, that ended up being a multiple 8-figure business, right? So don't be so afraid and don't think that in order to take a viewer to a client, you have to have this most advanced funnel structure in the world. Now, I will say that if you are serious about it, that's exactly one of the things that we help our clients with, is get the most amount of clients from the least amount of viewers, essentially, on their channel. And that has to do with the video, the topics, the titles, the thumbnails, what the call to action is, the marketing funnel, the email sequences, lead magnets, low ticket products. These are all things we help our clients with. So if you're watching this video right now and you want our help scaling your business and maybe using YouTube videos like this to do that, instead of trying to guess it yourself, I'd recommend going down below, booking a call to speak with our team where we can help you with everything that I'm talking about so far. Now, if you already have a business, you're already getting clients, then the easiest thing that you can do is just take whatever funnel, any way that you're currently getting clients elsewhere. Let's say the advertising funnel that you're using, maybe your TikTok link in bio, maybe it's going to be your Instagram DM strategy. That's right. I've even had YouTube videos where I just tell people to DM me a word on Instagram because we're really great at Instagram DMs, and you're just going to copy it over to YouTube. You're going to treat it literally just like another traffic source. It's not going to be anything complicated. And then over time, you can figure out if there's something that performs a little bit better on YouTube, you can implement that and see if that beats out your old marketing funnel. So now let's shift gears back into the actual creation of the video itself. So you understand what topic that you're going to create. You kind of have the idea of what the title is going to be. Let's figure out how do you actually film it? How do you come up with the title? How do you come up with the thumbnail? Well, the most important thing that you want to get down before you even film the video is what's known as packaging. And packaging is something that there's not a lot of content about online, ironically enough. And I think it's because most people want to try to keep it secret or guarded, because it took me a very long time to figure this out. And I paid a lot of the best people in order to learn it, and they didn't even tell me what this was. In essence, packaging is how do you make the video digestible to a viewer. So for example, let's say that I have a video and I'm talking about how every business owner should be on YouTube, right? I have a video that's done pretty well. I think it's had 45, 50,000 views talking about that. And I could just say every business owner should be on YouTube. Okay, that's not bad. Like that's okay as far as the title is concerned. How digestible is that to a viewer? It's like, okay, that's nice. That's not really exciting. I'm not gonna I'm sitting on the toilet scrolling through 800 different things. I'm competing with all these dopamine hits where the people are in vlog in Ibiza and they're traveling around the world with the jets. And then, oh, why every business owner should be on YouTube? Okay, well, I'm probably gonna skip past that one, right? Because that's not as exciting as all the other ones that are around me. So what you wanna do instead is you wanna figure out, how do I package this up to make it sexy? How do I make it ideal for the viewer? And a great example of that same video is, instead of saying every business owner should be on YouTube, I made the video, YouTube is now on easy mode for business owners. oh, okay, well now it's on easy mode? Oh my God, what does that mean? What is easy mode? How is it on easy mode? How do I take advantage of this right now, right? Just by changing the words around a little bit, I've now packaged it up in a way that makes it way easier for somebody to click on it, right? That's the subtle differences. And I know it seems like it's not that big of a deal, I promise you. But if you even look at my YouTube videos, there is a time, I think probably 4 or 5 months ago, 6 months ago, where you can see a noticeable change in the packaging of my videos and the amount of views that I got per video. Now, many of you watching this and you're saying, Ravi, you literally just talked about how views aren't that important. Yes, views are not that important. You want to start with a very specific, problem-aware content for a very specific avatar. But if you can get more views to that specific content, then absolutely, why would you not do that, right? Most people just do it reverse. They try to figure out how do I get as many views as possible, and then hopefully I get my avatar from it. So that's a very important distinction that you need to understand here. But you can notice a difference in my packaging. And a lot of times when I talk about packaging, I get this all the time when I go speak at events, like, oh, like that feels clickbaity, I don't know if I should do it, blah, blah, blah. And I love to always reference Alex Hormozi because I've studied a lot of really, really great content creators. He's definitely up there as one of the greats, obviously one of the great business gurus as well, and many of you know who he is. And if you actually look back, I've studied his whole YouTube channel. If you look back at his YouTube channel, you'll see a lot of his content. There's one video in particular I love to show people, and it says, how I'll be a billionaire working like 2 to 3 days a week. Something around those lines. I'm paraphrasing here a little bit. All of you that know Alex Hormozi, do you legitimately think that he's telling you that you only need to work 2 to 3 days a week to be a billionaire? Absolutely not. He is trying to get you to understand or to click on the video so that then he has the opportunity to actually tell you, yeah, guess what? You're joking if you think you're going to be a billionaire working 2 to 3 days a week, and it's him sitting in his freaking closet with no windows or anything around and a nose strip on telling you you need to work harder, okay? And so that's essentially what packaging is. He's getting you to click on the video, and he is giving a payoff. It's not like he's lying inside the video, because for him it is 2 to 3 days a week, I think, for acquisition.com, but it's appealing to all of our primal innate senses to essentially make money as quickly as possible with as little risk as possible, right? And that's essentially what he's playing into, and that's what you want your packaging to play into as well. So what does packaging physically look like? Packaging is going to be the title. Packaging is going to be the thumbnail, and packaging is going to be the overall topic. So when I'm creating the video and I'm saying, okay, I know I want to talk about virtual assistants for real estate agents and how you can use them, a great example of a title, I literally just came up 1 second ago in my head because I don't serve virtual assistants anymore, would be something like, how I'm kind of making it up here, but it's like how I made $300,000 last year as a real estate agent without using my phone once, right? Okay, well, that's crazy that you did that, because most real estate agents that I know, they're spending the majority of their time on the phone, glued to their phone all the time, calling leads, Zillow, blah, blah, blah. So you're going to play into a pain point. You're going to promise this future desired result, and they're going to click on it and you can say, yeah, I don't use it. I actually have an ISA. I have a virtual assistant that does the calling for me. Now, could I say how to use virtual assistant as a real estate agent? Absolutely, but it's not as sexy and packaged up as the one where I said that I made all this money without doing essentially any work. Now, a final quick rapid fire notes on the packaging side of things. When it comes to titles, you want to try to keep it less than 65 characters, because on mobile, it'll get cut off, which is where the majority of people watch YouTube videos. It'll get cut off after about 65 characters. And so you might have all of your best keywords and titles and everything after 65 characters, and then nobody's actually going to see it. So you want to try to put the juiciest words at the very front, and you want to try to keep it less than 65 characters. The second thing is when it comes to the thumbnail should complement the title but not replace it. I can't tell you how many times I see people with thumbnails where essentially you're saying the exact same thing as the title. You're wasting that space. Just don't even have a thumbnail at that point, because your title's doing the exact same thing. So instead, you want to complement it. Meaning you want to add to it. You want, for example, if I do something like YouTube is now on easy mode for business owners, I might have a thumbnail where I show a Stripe screenshot of my monthly income at, let's say, like $1 million. And it's like, oh, wow. Like, so I guess this guy is on YouTube and he's making $1 million from YouTube. They're making that connection all in a matter of a fraction of a second, and then they're going to click on the video. So don't put too much text on your thumbnail, and spend some time on it. Don't think it's just something that you're going to create last second, because an interesting fact about YouTube is one of the most important metrics is what's known as a click-through rate. So if you can get a click-through rate and you can increase the click-through rate by 1% or 2%, from let's say 6% to 8%, it's not going to be 2% more views. What happens is that signals to the YouTube algorithm that this video is being clicked on more people than usual compared to his other videos, and so we should show it to more people. So a 2% increase in the click-through rate could be a 20 times increase in the total number of views. Okay, but Ravi, what do I actually say in the video? Well, we use something that I call the no pitch pitch. pitch. And that's the really great thing about YouTube, is essentially every video can be like a short sales pitch, but it's disguised as an educational video. So this is something I teach my clients. I actually have it in a couple of YouTube videos. I'm gonna walk through it. I have it pulled up right here, the rough outline of it, okay? So first is the hook and authority. That should be in the first 5 seconds. Essentially, you're giving them the payoff of whatever you promised in the YouTube title, and you're adding authority to it. So for the YouTube's now easy mode for business owners, I might say something like, I made over $4 million on YouTube in the past 6 months. And that's, and not just that, but these 5 clients or 6 clients have done the exact same thing, or something around those lines. I've done the hook. So 4 million from YouTube in the last 6 months. Authority, not only have I made this money, but my clients have made this money as well. Then you go into pain point clarity. Now this is really important because it goes back to getting the right people inside your funnel and creating videos around the right people. Also, I know that some people are always annoyed when somebody like takes a long time to get to the solution or the payoff, but you want to make sure that you're really stoking people's pain points in order to keep them desired, right? Or to keep them engaged. If I started this video and I was like, okay, all you need to do is package your videos up great, blah, 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 but then you would watch the video and hop off in 2 seconds and it wouldn't have moved you. You wouldn't remember the video. But hopefully, since I spent some time, like, you know, putting you through this whole process and hitting the pain points and showing you I know who you are and showing you I was once in your shoes, you might be more likely to listen to it. So you want to do pain point clarity, which would be something like, in that video, I might say something like, you know, I used to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars a month on ads, and previously we would get a 4, 5, 6x return on ad spend, but more recently, I'm getting a 1.2 and a 1.5x return on ad spend. And that's really, really crystal clear for the pain points that a lot of my clients who are currently running ads are going through. And so I'm showing I know who they are, I'm digging into the pain points to invoke emotion, and then I'm actually going to go into the aha moment. Now, this is a really important part of the video, but this is where you give the payoff. And what you're really looking for is what a buddy of mine calls unique, useful insights, meaning that you want to teach them something they may not have known before. So a great example is a no pitch pitch. I might show that. Or another great example could be, there's a Google study that recently came out called the 7-11 Fool Rule, where they talk about it takes 7 hours of content across 11 touch points in 4 different locations to turn a stranger to a buyer. When I was creating video sales letter about a year ago, I didn't hear anybody talking about this study, not one person anywhere. And now I literally see it on my feed 100 times a day since I brought it to the market. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm the only person that came up with it. And I know your keyboard warriors going to go in there. How could you say that you did this? Because look, I totally get it. You can get all upset all you want. I'm just saying that me personally, I didn't hear one person talking about it. And I only knew about it because I was playing around in ChatGPT trying to find studies that would back up some of my claims. It pulled up this thing. I put it in a YouTube video, my video sales that are like over a year ago, and now I'm seeing it referenced all the time. So when I first came out with that content, that was an aha moment. Oh, I don't have enough content for my prospects, and so that's why they're not buying from me. That's why my return on advertising spend is low, and so I need to add more content, aka start a YouTube channel. And then the next 2 final areas of the no pitch pitch is proof without bragging. So I always try to weave in testimonials inside of here without having to like do a testimonial screenshot slide. You know, I see this in some people's YouTube videos and even in their video sales letters and webinars. It's like this client proof and this client proof and this client proof, and you're just going to lose viewers. They don't care about that. But if I can weave it into the story while teaching something, they're going to be way more interested to learn. Great examples is everything I've been doing here so far. I talked about my doctor client. I've talked about, I forget, but honestly, a couple of other people that I've helped so far with their YouTube channels and scale their business by doing these things here. And so when I was talking about, let's just say the doctor client, I was able to reference a client of mine that we've helped grow and scale while using her as a learning lesson for you. So it's like, okay, I learned something. And while I learned something, I also learned that you have clients and they're seeing results all at the same time, all without feeling like I'm showing you my case studies or testimonial. So that's called proof without bragging. And finally is going to be natural next steps. This is very, very casual calls to action. A great example is I did it just a little bit ago where I was like kind of talking about, hey, this is like the basic stuff, but if you want a little bit more advanced, you should go down below and book a call to speak with us. And then I'm right back to teaching again, right? So by the way, if you do want a little bit more advanced stuff and you just want my help to create these videos and our team to pick the video topics, titles, thumbnails, everything for you, go down below and book a call to speak with our team. And that's the no pitch pitch. Okay, so to recap really quickly, first identify exactly who your target market is and who you're creating the channel and the videos for. Best case scenario is you're creating it for your old version of yourself. If you're new or if you're an experienced business owner, you should already know the exact pain points that your clients are having. And so you're not gonna have to do a whole lot of content research every single time you wanna create a video. The second thing is understand what level of awareness you wanna be creating videos for. You always wanna hit problem levels of awareness because that's one of the highest portions of the marketplace that are gonna be able to pay you money in a short enough time period without having to educate people that are totally unaware and take them through the whole content journey. The third thing is understand how to make subtle offers to turn a viewer into a client. If you're just starting out, that's gonna be literally saying, hey, just get on a call totally free with me and we can talk. Don't worry about having everything figured out. Have 50 conversations and I almost guarantee you're gonna close one client. And then if you already have a business, just hook up your funnel that you have already and see if that works on YouTube. And if it doesn't, then maybe make a few adjustments based on the feedback that you're getting from that sales funnel. And then when it comes to actually creating the video itself, make sure you're spending some time packaging up the topics and the titles and the thumbnails so they all blend together. Make it sexy, like someone's gonna click on it when they have 700 other options to choose from and their dog is barking and their baby's crying, but they still have to stay and click on your video because you've added that much level of curiosity. And then use the no pitch in order to create a video that not only engages people from the beginning to the end, but also that you can subtly put calls to action and show your credibility. So when people get on the calls, they're way more likely to actually become a client. Now, what do you do at this point? Well, you get started, okay? That is the last thing I'm gonna tell you. All you have to do is start creating videos. And what'll happen is you will start to figure out, okay, this style of video works better. I'm getting clients that are referencing that they came from this video. You will see almost immediately overnight. A lot of our clients, they say, Ravi, how do I know which video is bringing me clients? And I tell them, you will see immediately, because what's gonna happen is you put a video up, and if you make a call to action, you're gonna get more book calls the next day than you had the day before that, and then more calls the next day, and then more calls the next day. And the people that get on there, the calls, if you say, hey, like, where did you find me? They're gonna say, I watched that video, you talked about YouTube is now on easy mode, and that made a lot of sense to me, right? And so, okay, cool, I need to make more videos around that. And you just double down and you keep on scaling. Now, I can make another video if you guys want on like how do you scale past a small channel into where you have a content research team, an editing team, social media manager, where you're going across multiple platforms and the different kind of content styles like browse, search, and suggested. And let me know in the comments down below if you guys want me to make a video around that. But I at least wanted to get you guys started on this here.